And then let's go to the hyperreal.
The Metaverse.
Yeah.
My favorite place.
Yeah.
I spend all my free time there now.
We have an episode that I think releases tomorrow where we talk about the highest sale ever in the Metaverse, which was
2.43 million.
43 million. And then that's already out of date.
Yeah. So we talked about it literally last week, and we were all fired up and thought it was insane that somebody dropped $2.43 million on a piece of land in Decentraland, which is effectively a universe within the Metaverse. And then yesterday, I believe it was, or 2 days ago, that was completely shattered, like destroyed.
Yep.
Someone spent $4.3 million in Sandbox on a piece of land.
Yeah, so Sandbox is like another universe. So there's going to be all these universes that you could live and shop and walk through. So Decentraland is one where that property sold for, I think, like 2.43 million, like you mentioned. And I think that was kind of commercial real estate. And then this new one in Sandbox, which Sandbox has been around for a little while, but it actually did its official Metaverse launch a couple days ago, end of November.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
And yeah, so they rolled it out. And I think something like 16,000 people or entities have already purchased in the first 3 days. The cheapest lot that's available right now is just over, I think it's like 15 grand US or something like that.
Yeah, Dan and I were looking at them.
Yeah, but this one that sold was more of like a development plot.
Exactly. This is a development site, and it actually sold to a virtual developer.
Yeah, Republic Realm. I think
Republic Realm, exactly. Yeah. And they bought it from Atari.
I know. Like,
so
Atari like went like this, and then they were like down, like presumably almost out of business, and now they're back.
Now they're flipping virtual plots.
Yeah.
So, and I just to go back into your thing about the Metaverse, I think I had a couple people that I was chatting with about it. To explain it, the Metaverse is not one specific like location or universe or anything like that. It's basically like saying Internet 3.0. I think we talked about it a bit last time, but again, to re-emphasize, within the Metaverse, you're going to have different, we'll say different universes, different lands. So like Decentraland, Sandbox, there's going to be tons of them. Technically, like companies can develop them and make it their space. There's not going to be one set place. It's not like you're going to enter the Metaverse and it's that one single space that we all share.
If you view it kind of as the Metaverse is an idea, it's effectively your gaming system.
Yeah.
And you can put various games in there. You can go over to Sandbox. You can go to Decentraland.
It's a universe. There's a bunch of planets. Yeah. There's a bunch of different basically spaces that you can utilize, right? Anyways, Republic Realm, the virtual developer, bought this parcel from Atari for $4.3 million. They already own 2,500 plots. And what they're intending to do with this land is they'll hire, or what they do with their land is they hire architects, virtual architects that create and design buildings. And then they're actually going to hire a virtual developer to then go ahead and build the building.
It is eerily similar to what happens
mall,
in the real world.
Commercial space. Yeah, it's eerily similar. Exactly. And so same thing, and the developers are buying the biggest parcels. It's already happening like that.
So if you picture Sandbox as a province or state, right? Because it is finite. This is the question. We were talking about this a little bit before we started here. It's like, well, couldn't they just build more? It's like, yeah, but each little universe, each little meta space is finite. It's only so big. And, so it gets developed and people buy a big chunk of land over here and say, all right, we got to, rip a virtual road through here and divide up these lots and build these spaces and so on. It's the exact same as what happens in the real world.
And we talked about last time why it's finite. We explained how that works, but I kind of botched the NFT description. I'm going to try and do a little bit better job this time. But basically, the items or the plots of land are assigned to a token, and that token is what then defines it, and that's how it's managed as, okay, this is the one. Because let's say it's token 1, 2, 3, that's assigned to the parcel of land, then that's what's being traded, and that's what defines it as a single item. So it can't be replicated because you only have one token of 1, 2, 3, and no one else can go out and utilize that to create it. So even if you made the exact same parcel of land and it looked the same and all those things, it's not assigned to token 1, 2, 3, right? So you just can't.
Right. And why that's important is because eventually the creators of these spaces, the whole idea of it being decentralized is that effectively there's no center government. There's no, like it is it's almost like, gosh, I don't know. I picture it as like some big bacterial or
DAO,
organic, like
decentralized autonomous organization, I think it's called.
well, I think of it as like an organism. It's a living organism but it's a sum of all of its parts. So there's going to be no like rule person being like, no, that's so and so's land over there. Like it has to be.
They're talking about putting that in though, and that's part of what
are
Meta, aka Facebook.
Well, Facebook's going to be
want-
like the Big Brother version.
Facebook wants to be the big brother of all
Yeah.
this, and that's what. If you guys have watched Mark Zuckerberg's 1 hour talk of the metaverse, he slides it in there a few times that everything's great, but there's no governing body, and there's no real rules. And
It's like,
Facebook,
don't worry, I'll do it. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Mark's as his eyes roll around, he goes, "We're going to handle this." Facebook wants to be the one that helps define these things,
They've got a great track record.
which is super sketchy. The
Yeah.
fact that it's going to be and that's again they were clever. Like they call themselves Meta, so people assume the metaverse is Facebook. Like they've already done that. Facebook and the Meta, like they're not. Facebook is one of the big developers in there and like creating products and things that you can do within the metaverse. But it's like saying Google's the internet.
When I was broke, I had rich habits. When I was broke, I had rich habits.